Hello everyone and welcome to the KMT Traders channel. So this is the full market analysis volume 15 video. So we collectively give you a summary of all of the trading week and give you an idea what's been happening. We also get to show you our charts, explain our views, give you more of our predictions, and try and give you a bit more value on each of our videos. So before we actually begin the video, we have a trading group that you can join if you're a new trader or new to this channel. I want you guys to go check that out. That link is in the description below. We simply just give you news updates, chart analysis, predictions, and a bit more updates as well on a day-to-day basis. So feel free to join that if you want to, then definitely do. So with this video, we'll just give you, again, just the background of what's been happening and in the market. So in a collective sum of this whole market for this week, it was a bit of a tricky one. There was a lot of choppy behavior and a lot of indecision in the market. If we were to compare this, for the last 2-3 weeks, we had great price action. And again, it's just understanding the market cycles and just waiting for those periods of time. So again, we just need to wait just a bit more longer, just a bit more, just because price is not ready to move yet, and you'll see exactly why. And we can have a look at a few things. So we'll first off begin with New Zealand dollar, US dollar. I will be covering gold tomorrow, so just keep an eye out for that. So again, we've just been in this area bouncing in between. Again, I personally did get caught out trying to buy on this push to the upside here. Again, we were looking at this indecision in the market because this whole level is now acting as a former intraday support. If we look at this level here, multiple wick rejections, so we do have some support still in the market, so that's still good. Again, the market, what we're looking for is just a big closure above here, price to form an indecision at this point in the market, so roughly at 0.64500, and again we'll see if we can get that continuation to the upside as well. So remember, we've got all of this price action to clear first before we actually get in and buy. So again, it's just using a bit more technical analysis in line with our zones. So if you want to add that on top, then it's all about your own comfortability comfortability in trading, and using what works for yourself. So again, we're just looking for this price action to continue and close above. However, if we do get a closure below this level and a strong one, we could be looking at as a short-term sell bias. So if you want to keep that in perspective, again, that could be looking something like this. And a retest on this structure level here, so you could keep that in mind. So moving on to Euro USD, again we try to get in on this as well, following this intraday bearish momentum, as we can see here, but we came to the uptrend that we've got drawn, and it just found some buying pressure here, so not to worry here. Again, we're just staying patient and seeing if we can clear this level before we can make that push below the retest, and again the break further below. So again, the area we're looking to take our sells from is within this zone here, really, 1.1245 to 1.12158. okay, so again, put this into your charts and have a look at how price reacts to this level or zone, and again taking some selling positions at this point. As long as we get this closure to the downside, then again that zone will remain valid. So that's that for Euro USD. Moving on to AUD USD. Again, pretty much choppy behavior here. We still do have some momentum up to this upside, but we've had a clear rejection here. Again, we got caught out trying to buy above this level. I do believe that this could still push and continue it higher. Again, we still have a lot of momentum in the market, so we could see a good push, especially if we get a closure above this zone here, so just above 0.7. If we can get a closure and a retest, that'd be great. We can start to see some good strong momentum if we can break above this level as a former retest and get that closure above. So that would be a great time to be in the market. So I'm just trying to see if we can get above this level and again just staying patient with it really. So looking at Euro, New Zealand dollar, so I actually changed some of the zones here. I've moved this more towards the downside, as we've seen multiple support levels here. And again, we still, this resistance zone still remains valid, so again I left that in. So again, we're just looking at price to again push out of this choppy behavior. Again, looking at a push to the upside around above 1.765, and again, if we can get that break below with the downside close, you know, this will be a very good insight to take a sell. So 1.73300, that would be a good selling opportunity. So again, really looking at the same form of entry here. We're looking for that closure to the downside before the retest. Again, indecision in the market before we get that push further down. And likewise with the upside, get that closure above, retest on the zone here. So this is between 1.765 to 1.7600, and again we're just looking at that indecision in this level before we get that push to the upside. Okay, so that's all I'll be looking for that pair. Looking at USD JPY, again, we had some strong rejection on this level. I was thinking that we could get a good continuation down below. But again, we had a strong retracement up above here. And I was noticing this bullish activity here, so we tried to get into some buys. But again, you know, failed to progress higher. So we still have this level here. So I'm looking at this in a more intraday level. And again, we do have this expectation that we could break above 108 if we do get that level broken. Again, this will be very interesting because we could be potentially pushing even higher, and you know, we could use 109.8 as a good target for the long run. So again, this is all about again just waiting for the setups to come, and again, this is a very long-term play, this, but we can obviously take intraday levels and play off that, which is what we do in our premium group. Again, we're just looking for this level in the market to break, and if we can get a closure above, find the retest. This is more of an intraday level play, but again, we discuss this more, only available in that premium group. Okay, on the analysis here we're showing here is a very long-term play, and again, this is more for those who, you know, traded for you know, for bigger moves, etc. Okay, so looking at CAD JPY, I believe it's a similar situation here. We've had a lot of area here that's just been choppy, sideways moving. So we could simply just wait for a break above this retest. Sorry, a break out of this zone of this consolidation area before I get a retest inside of this box and a push to the upside. Or we could just be simply waiting for again a closure below this level here, and as it's in confluence with our zone, we can see that this is happening quite nicely. So if we get a good closure to the downside, wait for that retest and that push further down, you know, this could be a very good potential push to the downside. As we can see, we've already had this bearish momentum, so you know, my thoughts were to see if this level in the market would hold, and as we can see, we've had one or two support levels, but you know, we're looking like we're pushing further down, you know, digressing lower. So this could have that sustained pressure to the downside, or I could be completely wrong, and you know, if we break above this level here, we could be looking at a good push to the upside. So just keep those two levels in mind really, because we're looking at some very choppy behavior, and anything really can happen at this moment in time. So just keep that in mind. Again, so this is roughly at 79.5 for a buying option, and the sell level is roughly between 78.5. So just keep those levels in your chart and, you know, observe those points. So looking at Euro JPY, we can see we've had a break of an intraday level to the downside, so we could be looking at some nice pushes to the upside. Again, the long-term play would be to wait above 122 to see if we can get a good progress movement to the upside. But again, obviously we do have intraday levels that we can look for, so something as simple like this. Again, if we get a break and test below, you know, we could be continuing, and we could see this level act as a form of support, and again, something simple as that. So, or we could wait for a closure above this level as multiple rejections here, or this level here. Again, these are all levels in the market that we could be looking at. Again, this is all intraday levels that we'll post in our premium. So if you want to go ahead and look and join that, just feel free to message me on my Instagram at KMTRADERS, and we can go through the process of explaining how to join. So looking at New Zealand dollar to the Japanese yen. Again, we're looking at this good pressure in the market here. So I'm looking to see if we can come back to this level. You know, we're at this period of time where we're consolidating to a small degree. Again, we've got this level of the market on the intraday level, and this one too. So again, we're just trying to push out of this and see if we can make our way to 71. If we can do that, then that'll be great. We will simply wait for that push and closure above and wait for the retest in this zone before we get that push to the upside. So the zone here is 71.4 and the lower level is 71.00. Okay. So pretty much all of the JPY pairs and pretty much all the pairs, as you can see, are in a pretty much consolidating choppy behavior. Again, fast forwarding, as I mentioned earlier, you know, start of June, middle of end of May was a very good time. We had a lot of pushing moves. So this is where we were able to capitalize a lot of our moves. And again, we just have to wait for this period of the market to get back in swing again. So this is simply what these levels on zones are about. They are the zones where, you know, we're expecting price to get back into this motion again. So if we can get to that point, then, you know, this is the times where you need to be trading, you know, aggressively and again patiently as well, which is the other big factor. So we have this push to the downside here, very slow. You know, very choppy behavior. All we're simply doing is waiting for price to, you know, connect and push higher, find that lower, find the intraday levels and see if we can push higher, push lower, push higher, push lower, and push higher, etc. And, you know, if we're aiming to see if we can get a closure above here on a 4 hour especially, and we're looking at a retest level between this zone here. So between 76.6 to 76.3, so a nice small range. And again, if we get that retest, we could see ourselves pushing higher. So looking at USD Swiss franc, again, we're looking at this level in the market. Now, we found multiple levels of rejection here. So if we can actually get that continuation and push to the upside, then, you know, that will be a good indicator that we are pushing higher. But we also have this rejection level here that we need to pay attention to as well. So if we get a closure below this level, we get that retest at that point. However, you know, as we're looking at this level and we can see that we have this strong bullish momentum, we could see price close, make a more probable movement towards the upside, as we could get this strong closure to the upside. That's what I would be waiting for. And again, remember this this downwards trend line. We could get a second entry point here if we don't get this retest here. We could get the push to the upside and retest of the downtrend, which would be, you know, the second option in case we don't get that retest of this zone here. So again, to refresh, this zone is at 0.954 to 0.952. Okay, so that level in the market, you want to place that zone, and just the rejection level we could be taking a short from is around 0.94. So if you want to put that level as well into your charts, then that would be great. Looking at USD CAD, so just coming to the last two pairs as well now. So we can see here we've had that huge push to the upside, this level in the market to retest. So again, we were seeing this bullish pressure, and, you know, we're trying to buy this as much as we can. And again, we're seeing some nice stepping up into the market. So again, this is good news that, you know, we're pushing higher. And again, we could be just simply waiting for the next step in the market, which is to see how it reacts to this downtrend. If we get that closure above, we could be waiting for that retest. But the second option we could be looking at is if we extend this zone here, if we just move this here as well, we may not even get that retest of this zone. That's if that does happen. But the other scenario is if we get a closure above this zone, we could get a retest here. and again that could be a strong level to take a good buy at. This is obviously previous due to this zone not being tested or retested, as we had that huge closure to the downside here, and failure to make its proper retest. So again, we could be looking at this market to take a buy if we get that closure to the upside. Okay, so the level of this zone is between 1.388 to 1.3845. Okay, so pretty much it really. We can see that bullish momentum, so just keep that in mind. We could be progressing higher. So finally, looking at EuroCAD, again coming to another week of indecision in the market, sideways moves. We're coming to the top end level now. As we can see, we had some strength and the strength in the euro in comparison to the CAD. We can see here price making its way to the upside. We just have to wait for momentum really to really kick us up, because I do believe if we get this closure to the upside, remember we've been stuck in this price action since the start of April. So April, May, June, coming to the end of June now. We could really find a good momentum to kick us up to the upside. So again, simply we're just waiting on this pair. So whilst the other pairs are kind of trending or in a slight choppy behavior, EuroCAD is still making its indecisive move. So just keep that in perspective. And again, the top level zone is at 1.546 to 1.543. Okay, so put that level in your charts as you do so, and just keep an eye out. So that's pretty much it for this video. We've had a look at some of the markets for this week. If you have had a struggling week, don't worry. Again, the markets were quite choppy, so take some pressure off yourself. The markets have not really been the best of what it was like in the previous past weeks or so. So again, the markets are in a very consolidating, choppy way. There's a lot of intraday levels that you can look at. That's only if you do trade on those levels, of course. But yeah, simply we got a lot of waiting to do, really. That's all I could say. And I can't stress this enough. Make sure you're staying patient and waiting for those setups to occur. And again, all we're simply waiting for is this correction phase to exit, and waiting for that good push in the market to continue and wait for our moves. And again, that's the point where we need to be trading aggressively, which we will do so in the premium group. So if you haven't done so already, that trading group is in the link in the description below. Make sure you go check that out and join if you want to do so. If you have a question for us, I'm more than happy to help anyone. All you have to do is message us on our Instagram, which is at KMTRADERS. And again, we'll get back to you as soon as we can at the end of the day. And if you made it all the way to the end of this video, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. That would be absolutely great, so that you don't miss out any of our future analysis videos. We have gold to post tomorrow, so make sure you're staying tuned for that. And again, thank you very much for listening to this video, and we'll see you all guys in the next one.